Can you believe we're this deep into the NFL season? We got to make every second count. With DraftKings Sportsbook, you can make the most out of every game day. Bet on your favorite teams for a shot at winning big bucks. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting $5 on any matchup. Get in on the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Download the app now. Use code Shannon. New customers can score $150 instantly in bonus bets for betting just $5 on the NFL. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code Shannon. The crown is yours. Who would you be looking in the heavyweight division to fight next?
Right now, I want a rematch with Tyson. He took me a little lightly, so he might come next time very heavy.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle, pay the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.
Hello, welcome to another special edition of Club Shay Shay on the road. I am your host, Shannon Sharpe. I'm also the proprietor of Club Shay Shay. And the guy that's stopping by for conversation on a drink, well, we have nothing to drink, so just a conversation today, is one of the scariest heavyweights on the planet. He holds the record for the hardest punch ever recorded by the Guinness Book of World Records. He's a former UFC heavyweight champion of the world, a top 10 ranked WBC boxing heavyweight contender, one of the baddest men on the planet. I just nicknamed him the Cameroonian Conquistador. You know what a conquistador is?
No.
That's someone looking to conquer new territory.
Okay, conquistador. Like conqueror.
The Predator, okay. Francis Ngannou. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, sir.
Man, thanks for stopping by, man. How you been?
I've been good, you know, been paving my little way.
How have your life changed? See, we're going to give you credit for the win because everybody believed that you won the fight.
Yeah.
You got outlanded in total punches, but you threw the harder power shots. You knocked him down, something that some of the other former heavyweights in boxing has been unable to do. So what's going through your mind? You land this punch. Did you think he was going to get up? Did you think you had won the fight at that moment?
Yeah. Going up into that fight, I was very prepared. I know how tough he is. You know, I have seen him almost dead and come back.
Right.
So I wasn't going there to knock him out. Right. You know, I'm like, okay, whatever happened, because usually when you think somebody is going to stay down and then he comes up, that takes something out of you. Right. You know, like I didn't want to have all kind of like hope, empty hope. So I'm like, this fight is going to the decision, you know. And during the entire fight, I was just thinking to the 10 round, like, don't overdo, don't find the big punch, just keep the pace, you know. And that's how I do.
Did you think you could win a decision over a heavyweight champion, or did you feel you needed to knock him out? Did you think you could get a decision?
Yeah, I believe in it. I mean, that's why I train. I train for 10 rounds. I mean, to get there and get to in the 10th round, and in the 10th round, I feel like I was even more fresh than he was. You know, I was very prepared. I mean, I'm going into a sport that I'm the underdog, a massive underdog, because that was my first boxing match, and I'm going against the best in the world. So I better be prepared, right? And couldn't just count on punches, power punch, because he's good at counter deviating punch. So I wasn't looking for punches at all. Like, I was so scared, like, to put power and get tired. My main thing was not to get tired before him. Yeah.
And see, that's what I'm saying, because you are such a massive underdog. Had you won that fight, that would have been the biggest upset in heavyweight history. That's bigger than Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. That's bigger than any other heavyweight fight. That might have been the biggest, because, like you said, you never had a boxing match before. And you stepped into the ring with the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and you beat him.
And that's why I, like, at some point, even I get frustrated of the decision, but I understand that there is a system, and you can just not just be like a single wolf and just come and take the system down like that. I've been into this business a little while to understand that he works, so I knew even before the fight that if we get to that point, I don't have so many chances. But you know, I wanted to prove my point. I wanted to prove that I can box. Also, for me, it was a good experience to feel it, to get there. I'm like, okay, I get this. How do I feel in the 5th round, in the 6th round, in the 8th round, you know, all those stuff, and holding and understand the game against one of the best ever do it, you know. So he was very important for me. So at the end of the day, like after that fight, regardless of the decision, I was still happy. I feel very satisfied, and yeah, feel like I've took a lot from them than what they took from me.
What gave you the confidence, considering that you had never boxed professionally, that you can get into the ring? And I don't think you stepped into the ring thinking like, okay, I'm gonna have a good showing. I think you stepped into the ring believing you could beat Tyson Fury.
Of course.
What gave you the confidence? You had never been in a boxing match before.
You know, life is not always about theory.
Okay.
If life was about theory, I would have never been here.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't meant to be here, and yet I am. So you get to the point that you realize like it's not about like the experience and everything. Like you understand that something's going on, right? Like if I walk to the bar and see a guy that is drunk and coming after me, that this guy never been in the gym. I step back first to watch what his move. I don't sit there and say, oh, I'm a professional fighter. No, I step back, because if that got to land, you might find yourself have taken a nap. So at the end of the day, regardless of like boxing, technique and everything, it's two men fighting. And I believe that I'm a man enough to stand in front of other men, even though I have a little bit of less experience and a disadvantage, but I know that I'm a man and I can handle.
You had Mike Tyson, who Tyson Fury is actually named after, in your corner, teaching you the ins, the outs, the intricacies of the. So when you go into the, he's a big man, he's a massive man. I think he's 6'9", you're 6'5". You were the more muscular fighter, and you said, I just wanted to make sure I didn't get tired, so I didn't want to put too much into the punches and tire myself out. But you counter him and catch him with I think a left to the temple. Did you see that opening? Could you tell, like, I think I can get him. This is the moment.
No, basically that was even a counter. That wasn't something that I prepared. But I saw that when he walked at me in the 3rd round, I think it was for him a moment to finish the fight. Kind of like, okay, we are done. Let's go home now. Because when the fight started, he was like, let's go to school. And then we get to the 3rd round, he's acting like he's just gonna walk me down. Then I'm like, I'm not backing up. So I put my hand up and wait for him. And in order to push him, I have to counter, and then he get caught at that moment.
So he's like, so what's going through your mind when you catch him? Do you like, man, I just put
not really nothing. I really, because he wasn't a strong punch, so I know that he's gonna get up.
You didn't catch him with your best.
No. I mean, he was a punch that even hit his shoulder first before hit his temple.
But if you catch him flush, you believe the fight's over. If you don't glance his shoulder, you catch him flush with that left, you believe you put him down to stay?
Everybody will go down in that one. Basically, in the 3rd round, you're still fresh. No, everyone will go down. With a clean shot.
So what was it like taking a punch from him? Because like you said, I mean, most of your look in the UFC, the guys, I mean, there's so many things that you got to watch for. In boxing, you're just looking for the hands. Now, you jab, the uppercut, the hook, the body shots. But in UFC, you got to watch a knee, an elbow, a foot. You got to watch all that. And so most of the guys aren't punchers like you are. Now, they can end the fight, now the heavyweight, because you got body as you go up in 215, 220, 230, 240. Guys can end the fight.
No, it's minimum 250.
Yeah, okay, 250. So what was it like taking a shot from Tyson Fury? You felt?
He hits pretty good. I mean, first of all, like even in the MMA, like there's all those punches from everywhere, knee, kick, all those stuff. But punches, they are not so strong as boxer, you know. Those guys have it inside the shoulder.
They know how to throw.
They have the speed, they know how to throw it, everything. hit pretty good. I mean, I ate some good shot. I'm like, fuck. You know? But...
Have you ever gotten hit that hard in a UFC fight?
I think so. Yeah, basically in the UFC, in MMA, it's 4-ounce gloves.
Yeah. That's a lot of knuckle, though.
Yeah. But it was pretty good shot.
Right.
I mean, it's good when you feel the punch. That means you're still up.
But the fact that you took the punch and you kept coming forward and you didn't back down or you didn't retreat and give him confidence like, okay, he felt that power, now is my chance, is because you kept coming forward.
I was there to fight and to win.
Right.
I mean, and he's the champion. I have to go after him.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to sit them. I wasn't going there to count, you know,
Right.
because like my game plan wasn't to count him or to survive.
Right.
My game plan was to fight and to win.
Right.
You know, to dictate my own rule. That was the game plan.
Okay.
Like I'm coming after you to win.
Right.
Yeah. So in order to do that, I have to work.
You go 10 rounds. You're like, okay, You get back. So what are you thinking? Do you think you won the fight?
Yes, absolutely. Like right at that moment, I was full of happiness.
Right.
Which I wasn't even putting in perspective the fight, how it goes. I mean, once again, it's my first fight.
Right.
I'm much worried about what is happening. I'm very detailed of like, okay, don't do this, don't let this happen. How are you feeling? Are you gonna be good at the 10th round and all those? So I couldn't count at that moment. You know, I was just happy. I was first happy that I made it there, but I'm like, I won, right? But again, I was prepared. I knew that when it goes to decision, like, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I wasn't surprised. The only thing is that it was quite obvious. You know, the difference was quite obvious.
Right.
There was even a lot of things besides the decision that was kind of like, okay.
Well, he hit you with an illegal elbow several times.
He hit me with the elbow once. At the beginning of the fight, the first contact, not even 2 seconds, the referee was like, break, you know. And from the moment that he started to initiate the contact on his own, then there wasn't a break anymore. At some point, I was like, okay, call out the break, and there wasn't calling the break.
Right.
So everything was arranged for him to be comfortable, you know. I understand. I was just a single guy coming to take down the structure of the entire business.
When you look at it, because he's such a mountain of a man, he normally leans on people and tires them out.
Yeah.
But because of your stature, you were able to withstand some of the leaning on him, and you didn't get tired.
And I knew that. I knew that very well. I watched him fight, basically his second fight against Deontay Wilder. I watched that very close. And by the 5th round, Deontay was like exhausted, and people were like, oh, he didn't train. I'm like, he did train, but you don't understand, like, I mean, even when Tyson showed up, I think it was 273 at the weigh-in, I'm like, he's gonna weigh him down. Like, I knew, right? And that's exactly what he did.
Right.
And so I was prepared on that. I worked a lot on like my leg, still work some wrestling stuff. So I was prepared.
Well, you acquitted yourself very well. So when you get back to the corner, you get back to your dressing room, what did Mike Tyson tell you? Did he tell you he's proud of you? What did he say, man?
No, it wasn't even at the dressing room. Like after the fight, he carried Cameroon flag, was just raising like the new heavyweight champion. You know, Mike, he doesn't care about all your stuff. Right. He say whatever he believe in, and he was just out there like the winner of the night. Right. So overall, everyone was happy. We were happy. We did a great job. Everything went well. Leading up into the fight, everything was good. You know, it was a good experience for everyone, the team, the people, the family around. It was a pretty good experience. You know, the first time that I have my family attend to my fight. Right. I had like 30 family members there sitting first row, watching me fight. You know, my mom, my brothers, everyone.
Were you nervous? Because you say that's the first time they've seen you.
Yes, you're always nervous when you're getting in something that
combat,
not competition.
Yeah,
because it couldn't be. It could have been like performing like a musician or something. You will still be nervous, right? When it comes to performance, you're always nervous. But at some point, I was just like, let's give them the show. Let's enjoy this. Who would have believed that they would be here? Like, the entire village traveled to come sit there, watch me on the big screen. And the show was massive, gigantic, like never seen before, right? So
you had a great. So if you were to, and it seems like you're looking to pursue this full time, are you looking for a full-time trainer, or would you let Mike train you, or is this something that Mike would be, or was this a one-off?
No, first of all, Mike is not a full-time trainer.
Okay.
Mike was helping. He would come time to time to help us, but it's not like he was every day.
Every day, okay.
In the training.
Okay, so you got to put, so if this is something that you're going to pursue, you're going to have a full-time trainer. So are you looking to do this full-time and give up UFC? I mean, not UFC, but MMA. Are you looking to give up MMA and just do boxing full-time? Or are you trying to do a Deion Sanders and play football and basketball? Baseball.
Combination. I can do a little bit of both.
Right.
Let's see the great fight. You know, I think at this point of my career, I just want a big fight, a big show before I call it out. So.
Right. So how long did you train for this fight?
Like 4 months.
4 months.
For this fight. Like this was my first boxing match. So usually my training camp would be like 10 weeks, 3 months max. But this one was different. So I know that I have a lot of way to go. Basically, like when it comes to endurance, you know, condition and stuff. So I took a lot of time ahead.
So you're talking about 10 3-minute rounds versus 5 5-minute rounds. What's the what did you notice a difference?
There is a lot of difference. You know, like in MMA, when you're tired, first of all, it's something that I have been doing. I have an experience. I know how to manage, you know. And in MMA, when you're tired, you can attempt a takedown or lean on somebody and act like grappling, or maybe trying to take him down, just lean on him, trying to walk a little bit and win the round. Okay. In boxing, there is not that. It's whether you better be able to stand on your feet and move. Right. Not only move your feet, move your hands. Right. You know, when those acid lactate start to get in your hand, then you're done. Or in your feet, you're done. You better walk, get a good training camp in order to avoid that. Because you're not going to lean on somebody for 10 or 30 seconds to rest, to take a breath. You know, you're going to be going constantly, stand up, face to face. So it's different. So I like you. So are you looking forward? So who would you want? Let's just say some promoter came and says, okay. I don't need a promoter.
You don't have a promoter?
I don't need a promoter.
You don't? Oh, so you're your own promoter?
Yeah, I don't need a promoter.
So
Gimmick Fight Promotion.
that's your
Yeah, I can go promote with whoever have a fighter and want to put on a fight. I don't need a promotion.
Oh, okay. So who would you be looking in the heavyweight division to fight next?
Right now, I want a rematch with Tyson. You know, this fight built a lot of confidence on me, in me. But also, I think he took me a little lightly, so he might come next time very heavy. I want to feel it. You know, I want a rematch.
But I think now that you know what to expect, you believe he's going to come back better prepared, but you'll be better prepared because you know what to expect from the previous fight.
Of course. I mean, I'm definitely going to be prepared more, put more work into it, you know, because I believe now, I mean, I was there and I know that I won, and I know that even though they gave him a victory, he's coming now as a challenger, and he's coming now to reestablish himself, his reputation, you know. So he's gonna come hard.
What's the big, as far as training, what's the biggest difference between MMA and boxing in your training camp? Because you say you'd go probably about 10 weeks in MMA and you went 4 months, so you went about 16 weeks in boxing. So what's the biggest difference? Is there more cardio in MMA? Is there more road work in boxing? What's some of the differences that you notice?
It depends. Whether it's MMA or boxing, everything depends on the pace that you're putting in.
Right.
If you start, whether it's boxing, and then just go there, start throw heavy punch, pop,
Yeah.
first round, you can last
gas.
Right? You gas out.
Yeah.
Same thing with MMA.
Okay.
You know, like, and then basically like MMA, if you go after somebody trying to take down and start a force there, stay there, you guys are like this. After 2 minutes, you have all the acid lactic here. You know, it's also the pace, how to manage that.
Okay.
Because there's nobody that can go like keep this his 100% for like 3 minutes.
Right.
You just know how to manage it. You know, so he all depend. But I have more experience in MMA, so I know how to manage that, which in boxing is something that I'm still learning, you know. Like on this fight, I saw a lot of trick in the fight, a lot of things that they were doing that was like, okay, it's right, it's not right, it's in the mirror.
Okay.
You know, so they can let it go pass.
What about the weight cut? I mean, how much, you're a fairly large man. I mean, what's your walk around weight?
Like 275.
Okay,
275,
so you go into an MMA fight, how much do you normally weigh?
MMA fight, I will go 260, 250, maybe 257.
For this boxing match, how much did you weigh?
265.
Okay, so there was not a whole lot of cut.
No, I didn't cut. I don't cut weight.
You don't cut weight?
I lose weight during training camp.
Okay.
It's not like I don't do something specific to cut weight.
Right.
I don't eat less.
Right.
I just eat
So
clean.
all these drastic weight cuts that we see some of them MMA fighters do, you don't do that?
I don't do that. I mean, when you're training twice a day, every time you're going, you're putting everything. Come on, man. You're gonna lose that weight. You're gonna lose that weight.
Right. So a lot of people thought the fight was going to be scripted because they see these exhibitions. They see Floyd Mayweather fight the Paul brothers, and they see some of this stuff. But I think early on they could tell this is not scripted. This is real. I mean,
that's what they said at some people thought at the beginning, and we made it clear that this is going to our record.
Yeah.
Right. If you lost, you lost. It's like you're not 33-0 anymore. You're 33-1.
Right.
It's going there. So, and then exhibition doesn't go on the record.
Right.
In exhibition, they don't need all those official, all those stuff, all those drug testing stuff, because they know at the end of the day it's just to put on a show.
I mean, the fight was in Saudi Arabia, and you have Kanye showed up, M showed up, De La Hoya, Holyfield, Cristiano Ronaldo, Conor McGregor, Vince McMahon, Undertaker, Lil Baby perform. What was it like to see, like, you weigh in Saudi Arabia? This wasn't Vegas, and we understand that Vegas is the fight capital of the world. You're in Saudi Arabia, and you have so many big names showing up to see a guy that's never been in a boxing match before, to see you fight.
Yeah, and something that you don't even see in Vegas, you know, that concentration of a celebrity in one spot. I think that was the biggest concentration of celebrity in one spot. And listen, like, even before that, like when we signed the fight, 3 months out the fight, they started a promo video, a music clip, and then that was the moment that I realized that no, it's not the same. It's not going to be the same at all. You know, like that video for the clip, we shot it in Hollywood. 1 week in Hollywood, just shooting a video clip, and now I'm like, okay, it's not the same.
It's not,
like, not the same at all. We don't do it. I never do something like this.
Right. Ronaldo gifted you a $130-something thousand watch. What did that mean? I mean, everybody knows he's one of the most visible, recognizable people on the planet. And he said, bro.
I think he gave me more than that. He gave me more than a watch.
Well, he gave you more. He gave you more gifts?
No, I mean, gifts is not always what somebody gives you.
Right.
I think it's the time.
Yeah.
Like early this year, right after I separated with the UFC, I left the UFC early this year, and then I went to Saudi. And they were trying to make me meet Cristiano, and it didn't work out. The guy that said, "Oh, we have a dinner or something,"
it didn't work out. Okay.
I think he was full of shit. But then we were into a meeting at the hotel restaurant, and then my guy saw one of his guy, Ricardo.
Right.
And I'm like, that's Ronaldo guy. And he went to him and said, "Hey, Rick," and started talk. And he said, and then he introduced me. He said, Ronaldo, Cristiano is a huge fan of Francis. And I'm like, yeah, maybe another guy that pretend to know Ronaldo, Cristiano, right? So he said, okay, let me call. So he pick on the phone and call Cristiano and say, yes, I'm here with Francis Ngannou, blah, 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 blah. And then hang up. I wasn't hearing the other side of the phone. And then hang up and say, yeah, he said we should come up. He's at the pool. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I just followed the guy.
You followed him up?
Yeah, like, okay, what's gonna happen?
Right.
He's not going to chop my head.
Right.
So, right? Then we went up to the pool, and yes, Cristiano was there with his wife, his daughter, and stuff. He was in the short, and we introduced, because to be honest, I wasn't expecting, I wouldn't be surprised if Ronaldo said, hey, who is this? I wouldn't be surprised that he didn't know me, right? And then I'm like, hey, what's up, champ? And started talk. And I found out that he knows a lot about me. He knows my story. He knows my fight. He was giving me detail about the fight, like how I fight this guy, how can I fight this guy, which one is better between this guy and this guy if I fight. I'm like, well, how come do you know much? And he said, my family and we went down every time when you fight to watch your fight. And we were standing next to the pool like this, talking for like 40 minutes at least. And I think that was more than a watch.
Right, yeah.
Right? And
just the interaction.
The interaction. And he was giving me advice, the reason why he took this decision, why I did this. People don't understand, they think this, but I did this because of this. I'm like, wow. You know, you have to know the man, know the public figure, himself, and understand his mind. And I'm like, this is very interesting. And he was giving me some advice. And at the end, you know, he was so genuine that at the end I was like, I can't live without having my picture with Cristiano, right? I gotta get a proof. I'm like, but I was still a little embarrassed to talk about picture. And then I'm like, yeah, no worry, let's go. And then he put his shirt on. We went to on the shade and started to take picture. And like, okay, let's do face off. And he was laughing, hugging me.
Right.
You look at that picture, it seems like we know each other for years.
Right.
Yeah. It was our first time meeting. This is how genuine he was. And then I was going to save my picture for whenever I'm gonna post it, is my picture with Cristiano. Couple hours after I found the picture, I just find the notification on my phone started like, trrr. I'm like, what the hell is going on? I check, Cristiano post that picture and say, was happy to meet you today, champ Francis Ngannou, or the stuff, blah, blah, blah. Wow. That's when I post mine. That was way more than a watch.
What was some of the best advice that you've gotten being in that situation, because you got exposed to a lot of different things that you didn't get exposed to in the MMA by taking this fight with Tyson Fury. So what were some of the things that people have reached out and given you advice about moving forward?
Listen, most of the time, basically, when you're doing something that people don't understand your decision, it's not about advice. People will always be, some people will support you, people that are on your side will support you, even when they disagree with you.
Right.
They still support you because it's you, right? But as far as advice, who was the guy that really believed in it in order to give you advice?
Right.
Everybody was like, I don't know about that, right? So, and then you have to deal yourself to yourself. You have to have this self-conversation with yourself. Like, okay, am I good? Yeah, that was my decision. Right. I wanted this. I'm doing this. And at the end of the day, what could be worse? Maybe for me, the worst is not to try. The worst is not to try and fail. So I don't care. I'm getting into the position that nobody have ever expect me to get there. I'm doing something that is uncomfortable for everyone. I'm taking a risk, this challenge. I could have just said in MMA, I'm more comfortable there and this, but I'm taking a challenge, right? At the end of the day, what I want to tell my kid is that I dare. Right. That's all what matters.
Would you, Deontay Wilder, obviously he fought Tyson Fury 3 times, I think. 3 times. They had a draw, and then Fury beat him the last 2 times. Would you be willing to fight him in a boxing match?
Of course. Even before this Tyson fight, we were talking with him. Like, he's also willing to fight me in MMA.
Now, come on, Francis.
Oh, no, for real.
Francis, stop. Why would you even take that fight?
Why?
Yes.
Okay, let me tell you why. Let's say he's not fighting me, he's fighting somebody else, right? I look at the profile of that fighter, I put my money on Deontay. Basically, I mean, even just as a boxer, basically, now that he's like really intent to do that MMA and be training on, I put money on it because he just need to cut somebody. To land a punch.
Man, yeah, but you know them jokers go have them legs, them long legs. Man,
But it could also be a mixed rule.
Oh, so you can't kick or something like that?
We were thinking of a mixed rule.
Okay, yeah.
Right? Because honestly, I think it's going to be too hard for him if we don't mix the rules.
The one thing about MMA, you can't be one-dimensional. Ronda Rousey was one-dimensional. Conor McGregor's one-dimensional.
Really?
Yeah, he just throw punches.
He has a good ground game, too.
Man, every time they take him to the ground...
Somebody will always have there's always somebody that has a better ground game than somebody. And when they say you have a decent ground game, it's not the best on the game, you know. It's a sport of multiple discipline, multiple dimension. You have to be decent at some. Right. And most of the time, champion is not great at one thing or
good at a lot.
Just good at a lot. You just need to be good at a lot.
Yes.
Then, besides good at a lot, your fighting IQ make you even higher. Because sometimes you're fighting a wrestler. You know that as soon as you guys get in the contact,
you can feel the clinch. You can feel, okay,
it's different. This guy be wrestling for 20 years.
Right.
You can wrestle for 3 months in the training camp and come compete with somebody that be eating wrestling for his entire life, right? So you just have to avoid to go to that territory, you know, play with that. But at the end, you might win the fight, but it doesn't mean you're a best wrestler. If they put you guys in the wrestling game, he will eat you, people like you, 5 in 1 minute.
Yeah, wrestling, because I'm gonna get tired. It's hard to avoid getting tired when you try to wrestle somebody because
yes, because you contract.
Yeah,
you're always like this, crispy. Yeah, you know, relax.
What about Anthony Joshua? Would you be willing to fight Anthony Joshua in the boxing?
Of course. I'm willing to fight.
He said he'd knock you out. This is what he said.
He said what?
He said he'd knock you out.
Well, but even Tyson Fury said the same thing, and Tyson Fury is better than Anthony Joshua. So what do I care about what people say?
You heard that, Anthony? He said, you heard what he said? He said Tyson Fury is better than you. He beat Tyson Fury.
What do I care about what people said? I mean, I've been into this game so long. Right. I have seen so much. I've heard so much what people intend to do.
Right.
There is a difference between wanting to do and be able to do, or to do.
Or saying what you're going to do until you get into the ring and then have to do.
Yeah.
So would you be willing to fight him in like a mix, like you said, you and Deontay?
In anything that he wants.
Yeah. Anything.
Anything that he wants.
You just want him in the ring.
Yeah, anything that he wants. Ring of octagon. Fight. You know, like the good thing about this is like I'm the one that can go everywhere. More comfortably.
Right.
You know, my comfort zone will be octagon. but I'm going to the ring and putting them into a bad spot in the ring. So
you going into their territory.
Yeah, I'm conquering.
You can keep it. You're conquering new territory. I like that.
Because I have my territory where they cannot mess with me.
No.
And if they come, they would need something like some favor, like, okay, I give you this. Okay, we take a kick out. Okay, I have to give him something.
Yeah, you can't kick, you can't elbow.
Yeah.
You just basically got to box, you just have to box him in the octagon.
Yeah.
Because now you can't take him down because they can't avoid the takedown.
Yeah, I have to give him something. But when we step in the ring,
they don't give you anything.
But I still get them in trouble.
Right. So leaving the UFC, was that a very hard decision for you?
It was a decision that if it was up to me, I wouldn't take that decision. You know, the situation made me take a decision.
Right.
But it wasn't something that I was expecting or that I was thinking. But I get to the point that I realized that for my good, for my best, I have to take the right decision for myself.
Right.
And that was a good decision for myself.
Because I'm looking at some of the things that you requested. You requested health insurance, the ability to have sponsorship for all UFC fighters. You are the advocate for fighters in all contract negotiation. And when UFC, they denied your request to resign you, it's like, okay, you're the first reigning champ to leave the UFC since 2004. So almost 20 years, Francis.
Yeah. But the reason why I did that, it wasn't something that even early in my career I was thinking about. The reason that I was requesting all those stuff because was the thing that pushed me in the position that my back was against the wall. Then I have to figure out that, okay, this is what's wrong. This is what's wrong. This is what get me here. If I wasn't back on the wall, maybe I wouldn't have figured that out. So then when I get my back off that wall, I'm like, no, I don't want to get in that position that I'm powerless. In fact, we all are in those positions that we are powerless. So you need to give something up.
Right.
Not to make it can be even, but at least give something up.
Right.
Like I have a contract that I have no leverage in that contract, no power, nobody could advocate for me. Everything that is there is what you say. And even when they you talk about extension, you decide, you're the party and the judge. You say, okay, we are extending you. I don't even have a right to fight. I don't have. And those kind of things, they put me in the position to start things like that. Right. So obviously, that's how it come out.
So so when you have, being heavyweight champ, you have somewhat of a relationship with Dana. You sit down and have a conversation. You say, well, Dana, bro, come on now. I understand you guys have built this. You have an unbelievable company. But I'm Francis Ngannou. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. Make some concessions.
No, he wasn't about me because I don't just think that, I'm Francis Ngannou. What the hell? What do they have to do with the fact that you're Francis Ngannou?
Right.
I'm a fighter, and I believe that a fighter is the one that make that company, right? Without a fighter, there is not a promotion, there is not UFC, or there is not any other fighting promotion. How about just thinking of giving them a fighter a little bit of a condition? Mm-hmm. And one thing that I said, the advocate for the fighters was just let's get somebody that, it wasn't even about a union. I said, let's just get somebody that speak for the fighters, who will represent the fighters in the board meeting. Because I do believe that sometimes your decision hurts fighter, but you didn't mean to, but you're seeing stuff from your perspective. But if somebody was there to explain you the fighter perspective, maybe you would have understand better and make a concession, mm-hmm. and make it a good decision for everyone.
Right.
So that was my request.
Yeah.
It wasn't a big deal.
You want a fighter's advocate.
An advocate, right? And the reason why I did that also leading to a sponsorship, because I lost a sponsorship for the amount of money that I never make fighting, right?
Wow.
Because of one of their sponsors. So I'm in the position that I'm okay, I'm not making money. I can fight until you guys want me to fight, if you are not happy to me, I cannot fight. And I have no right. That contract gives me no right to claim like, okay, I have a right to fight a year minimum.
Right.
There's nothing. You can sit me there for 1 year and a half and say, oh, we are looking, oh, this doesn't work, this didn't work out, oh, this can be good.
Wow.
And I'm like, no, that's not fair, that's not right? You are taking everything out from me. All my right, exclusivity.
Because you only make money if you fight.
Yeah. And so I'm exclusive. I'm supposedly independent contractor, but I'm not, because I think the word independent contractor is just not to give me the benefit that employees will have, like such as health insurance.
Yes.
And most of the time, we in this sport, we get to the point that we need surgery or something that is more that we can afford. We cannot afford. A lot of fighters still fight paycheck after paycheck, and that's why, like, when they finish a fight, go home, sit, and pray that they receive a call for the promotion for the UFC to fight again, in order to have money. And by the time they have a fight, they already broke. They already
spent the money that they made
from the last fight. So at least you cover something. Like, I have seen fighter. I mean, even now I still see a lot of fighter that get hurt, but they can't go to the hospital. They can't pull out from the fight because they need to go, because
you have to make the money.
No, they need to go into the fight. When they come out of the fight, they claim it as they was hurt in the fight. Mm-hmm. Because that's the only moment that they are covered. They have the insurance. Mm-hmm. But if they don't do that, if they don't go to the fight, they will never benefit from that insurance. And I think it's not fair, in a sport that you're using your body, going after, you have an injury, and then you have to go with this injury for like maybe 1 or 2 months just because you cannot afford a surgery or something. I think.
You said something very interesting. You said that you had an opportunity for a sponsorship, that you would make more money from that sponsor than you would in the fight, but you couldn't do the sponsorship because of the sponsor with the UFC.
Yeah.
So the Dana then says, okay, Francis, you can't do that sponsorship, but since we have a sponsor, you can do this sponsor. Did he come to you with that?
No, and that, again, that's the kind of concession that I don't want. I think at this point, we are getting to the place that we can have our own right. And the reason, I think, fighters get robbed from their platform, which is like sponsorship. Sponsorship is what athletes most of the time get a little more money. Basically, for those who doesn't make money, they count a lot of on sponsorship. And obviously, when you're having a lot of,
or you can have an endorsement on your trunks or something like that.
Yes.
Gaming sites or something of that nature. Yes.
Yeah. And I understand that they want to make the sport clean and this. Yes, that's good. Credit to you. But at least have a department, so you say, okay, maybe fighters are allowed to have 1 or 2 that will be checked, if everything, and fit into the box. If so, they can have it, but have it because that's their own.
Right.
But now you have to wear or carry all those sponsors on you that you
got to use all the UFC sponsors.
Yeah, basically. So no value for you.
Right. Jon Jones and Dana White. Dana said Francis wants to take zero risk. He's obviously didn't want to take a chance with Jon Jones. He also said Dana wants to fight the lesser of opponents and make money. Is there any regret that you left the UFC without getting an opportunity to settle you and Jon Jones?
I always regret it. Before I left the UFC, I've been asking this fight for almost 3 years. And guess what? They've been telling me that Jon Jones is scared. Jon Jones doesn't want to fight. Jon Jones doesn't want this. Jon Jones has enough money.
Right.
He's living in Abu Dhabi, that he's not spending that much money, so he doesn't need a risk. Jon Jones is not this. Jon Jones doesn't want this, and that's how they keep rolling, you know. So it's a mechanism that they use in any sense, right? Of negotiation, and I'm sure, like maybe at the same time. If Jon Jones is asking the same fight, they will say the same thing into this fight. And that's the problem. When you have somebody in the mirror that is controlling the information, the only thing that I know from Jon Jones is what the UFC would tell me from Jon Jones. The only thing that Jon Jones would know from me is what the UFC would tell him. So what mean? The power is here. He manipulates everything, both sides and public opinion.
What if the UFC and your current MMA sanctioning body says, you know what, this fight is too big not to happen? Just like we saw with Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. That was too much money for it not to happen. So we got 20, we got 40, we got 50 million. We're gonna split it right down the middle.
Well, I've been claiming this fight. I'm in the PFL. We can do the same thing as they did with Floyd Mayweather. But at this moment, PFL need to be involved.
Right.
Yeah.
But they want to cut PFL out. They just want to be.
I don't know what they want to do, but I do know.
But you would be willing to fight Jon Jones.
No, I'm willing to. I'm willing to still now, as long as we can find a way. I'm willing to do that fight. Not to go back to the UFC, but to fight.
But just that one one. This is a one-time offer.
Yeah, just to fight Jon Jones.
But let me ask you a question.
Yes.
You make 25 million. Let's just say, for the sake of art, because it's gonna be the biggest fight in UFC history.
Yeah.
You're a champion. He's a champion. Many believe he's the greatest MMA fighter ever. No matter what.
I believe too.
So you're gonna make now you get 25, you get 30, 40 million dollars in your bank account. How does Francis Ngannou stay motivated? That changes that amount of money, because now all of a sudden Francis got on mink slippers.
No, first of all, I think you have to find out what is your motivation.
Okay.
Sometimes, some people motivation is money. And for some people, money will help them to get higher, to find more. Like we are today in the gym, to a private gym that I have on my own. Money allows me to do that, to set. But I'm using money to build my own infrastructure and just to get better, because I'm going somewhere. I'm using it to accommodate myself better, to equip myself better to get there. I'm using those money to maybe, when needed, I don't have to take appointment with physical therapy. I just have my own personal physical therapy, and that's what I did, right? But my motivation is still the same. My drive wasn't to get money. Money will help me to get what I want. My drive was to do the best that I can possibly do, to find out how far I can go. And I'm still about to find out how I can go. Every time this get bigger and bigger, you feel the need of this, right? So you think before the Tyson fight, I was sitting home like, oh no, I'm not hungry anymore. No. I mean, it's been a long time since I'm not hungry, but I need that motivation, right? I still have that motivation, and even better. It's getting even better because you get that, and then your needs.
You see what's out there, you want more.
Yeah. More to achieve. Like, what can I do? Like, when I started my career, there wasn't like, a potential Jon Jones fight would be the biggest fight, one of the biggest fight. There wasn't a Tyson Fury fight that would be a biggest fight. You get to the point that you can get all that. Why would you? It would be a waste to retire without having all that, without testing yourself like that, since that's your goal.
November is here, and we're in the heart of football season. Basketball and hockey are just getting started. So many games to watch on any given day. But wouldn't it be better if they were live? The best way to get tickets to any of these games this month is on Gametime, the fastest growing ticket app in the U.S. Gametime is obsessed with finding ways to help save you money on tickets. You can find exclusive deals and sponsored deals on games and concerts daily. With zone deals, you pick the section
and Gametime picks the seats for big time savings. And with Gametime guarantee, you will always get the best price. If you find a ticket in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. So take the guesswork out of it. Buying tickets at Gametime. Create an account, redeem code Shay Shay for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, download the Gametime app and enter the code Shay Shay, S-H-A-Y, S-H-A-Y for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. He was born in Cameroon. What was Francis's life like in Cameroon?
He was very tough, very, very tough. But I do believe that was my...
That's your foundation.
Regardless of what happened, I mean, if I have to go back, I swear to God, I will not choose that life. Although I still believe that it's still the best life that I could have had as a kid. Even though I can't choose that life, it was the best thing for me that I needed.
Your father was a street fighter. Is that kind of what drove you to the MMA? Is that what, I mean, because, I mean...
He was a multiple stuff. He wasn't only that aspect. First of all, I love combat.
Okay.
Like at my very...
Always, you always?
As far as I can remember, I always loved combat. You know, in Cameroon, the men's sport would be like soccer, football.
Okay.
And I was playing football because for us, it's like culture.
Right.
You know, like you don't have to love football to play football.
Right.
It's like culture stuff. Every kid play football, but it wasn't my thing. My thing was fighting. And I remember like I was asking kids around like, okay, let's try this, play the bad cop, the bad guy and the good guy,
right.
And this. And I'm like, you're too violent, you're too violent.
Were you always the bigger kid?
For my age,
yeah.
But I grew up around people that were like 3 years older than me.
Right.
You know, we were going to school like I was three years younger, but we were all the same size until like maybe the day that at school they have to read our birthday, and people would look around like, damn, there's a baby in the class.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell are you doing here, right? Like, because I was younger, but I was just as big as everyone,
right?
But they didn't know.
Right. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have 3 brothers and 1 sister. I'm the second oldest, and then my sister is the 4th out of 5.
So, obviously in Cameroon, I'm assuming that you come from a working class family, that you guys had to work. You worked, if I'm not mistaken, in the salt mine as a child.
No, it's sand mine.
Sand mines, yeah.
Well, I think we were even a little below the working class.
Okay, you was below that. I don't quite know what below working class is, but okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah, we were below working class because unlike us, my brother and I, no other kids started to work at that age.
Right.
Right, like 9-year-old working in the sand quarry, what the hell can you do? I mean, like even the shovel, empty shovel for a 9-year-old kid was already enough, right? Lucky for me, I was bigger than 9 years old, so I could have carried that, and I was strong. Right, so I could have carried that and shovel a little bit of sand, and after go do different stuff. You know, we had to do that in order to sustain our life, to help in the house. So, yeah, I did that my entire life. So later on when we were teenager, other kids were coming, maybe around 14, 13. Other kids were now coming to do that because they feel like, okay, this is the age that they can start. But by the time
they started at 13, 14, you already been doing that since you were 9.
Pro. So we were like the teacher, like teaching them how to start, how to walk, you know, walking them through everything.
What I tell people is that my upbringing was kind of hard too, but working the jobs that I had, Francis, it let me know what I didn't want to do for the rest of my life. Doing that in the sand mines, did that let you know, man, I ain't trying to do this when I get my dad's age or when I get older.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't only that. Everything that I have done in my life, I remember so many times. I haven't worked, but this was like later on. I would work in the sand mine because I was always concerned about my life, like future, think about my future, like, okay, what will happen at this moment? And I would work in the sand mine. I see this guy, like, maybe 55, 60 years old. He's shivering sand. I would look at him and then, like, have, like, you know, feel weird, like this, you know, like have a goosebump, like shit. So if I don't do something, I'm gonna find myself here at 60 years or something. That's not going to happen.
Right.
There's no way that that's gonna happen.
Right.
He has to change. He has to be different. And that's happened to me a lot. Even when I left the village, I went to the city. We were carrying merchandise, unloading truck and stuff. And there was still people older that was working that job. And now I'm like, man, so if I stay here, if I get settled, I might just end up like this guy, because this guy actually just think like, oh, okay, let's just do it, and then didn't think of tomorrow, and then year just go by. He didn't realize. Then I'm like, no, I have to be awake. I have to be awake. Notice the time going, and because this can end like this, I can find myself here at this age. But the problem is that, like, when you have those kind of thought, if you express it, then it's kind of like insulting those people. And then in Africa, like, when an elder person feel insulted by you, it's very disrespectful, right? So I am in the village, maybe I'm 10 years old, 12, 15 years old, and they all believe that I'm gonna become a farmer or a carpenter or maybe go learn mechanic and stuff. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be a professional fighter. They'll be like who? Nobody has ever done that here. Like, it's not meant for us, right? It's not for us, it's for somebody. Look around you, and this is your reality. And I'm like, yeah, I agree, but although I still want to give it a shot. So therefore, it seems like, okay, you are looking down to people, like you didn't have a better life, you didn't choose a better job, and then they started feel that and reject on you. They didn't, just because nobody has a dream big enough to understand that you are just dreaming. You know, you are not even thinking about them, but you're thinking about you and what you want to do.
You're not looking down on them, but you're looking better for yourself.
On them, but you're looking up for yourself. Right? So that's how, like, my upbringing was also tough, because, like, just keep dreaming, just have this mentality of a dreamer. He was something hard to manage out there in the middle of a people that they don't have dream, they don't expect something big to happen for them. And that set me to the point that people were like, oh, this kid is a bad kid. I was a very bad kid for people. Like, when I go someplace, people didn't even want me to mix in the middle of their kid. I'm like, this kid is a bad kid. He's gonna intoxicate our kid right here. Like, his mindset is not good. Like, he's dreaming so high. Like, he's gonna end up robbing a bank, because he want an easy life. Like, what do you mean an easy life? I'm saying I might just go out there and get punches in my face. It's not easy life. Like, but they didn't believe that it could have happened. Basically, in the country that they really have no example of a person that have done it, have succeeded in it. Even people that has more opportunity and started earlier, when you see documentary on their life, or watch them on the news, they go back and, you know, want to tell their story. This guy is in the house with dust everywhere. He couldn't even have a cement floor and stuff like that. And it was tough. So, like, to be honest, to this day, I don't blame those people not to believe me, because the reality around was tough enough to believe in something like that. But I was so driven by my dream. The power of my dream was so big, and I could feel that only on my own. I could share with people what I'm feeling, and I was so confident about it. And people was looking at me like, this kid is losing his mind. Like, he's out of the real world. Like, come down on earth, bro. You know, like, yeah. So it was that.
I read you were a loner as a kid.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really a loner by choice, by decision. It just happened like that. You know, like
People don't want you playing with their kids because you a bad influence. You dream too big.
no, like when my parents get divorced, I was 6 years old.
Okay.
So we started to live in different family. Like we're gonna go to this family member that will help take us for like maybe 6 months, and within these 6 months, maybe we will go to school, and you will start a new school, and you don't have a friend. Not only you don't have a friend, you're a new guy. You need time to have friend, but one thing that wasn't playing on my advantage was the fact that to get to the even at the school, you know, when you come in a new school and then you're the cool guy, it's easy to have friends.
Right.
Everybody want to be your friend, but you're the kids that come with your shoes that is, I don't know, like no right, and then they're gonna kick you out of school, of the classroom someday because you didn't just have a pen to take note, or you didn't have a notebook or stuff like that, or you didn't pay your scholar fee.
So you had to pay to go to school?
Oh yeah, we paid to go to school. Oh, yeah. Oh, we paid to go to school.
For regular public school, you had to pay.
Yeah. It's cheaper, but we pay. we have to pay. And so you're a new kid, and then you're the one that is always being embarrassed. So everyone want to step back. Nobody is very interested to be your friend. You want to be friend. You want to fit in. You know, you're just a kid. You know, you want to belong.
Right.
But you don't belong. It's hard to find. You never bring food at school to share with somebody. So nobody want to share with you, because usually when kids share with you, it's in the expectation that tomorrow maybe you share with them as well, but you never bring anything.
Right.
Nobody want to share with you. Nobody want to even hang out around. So then he was like that continuously. And then I kept trying. But one thing that I was doing, I created a virtual war in my mind, you know, because the life was so tough. A lot of things was missing in my life, that the only way that I could get those things right as I wanted was in my mind. And I created it. And I was living a life in my mind. I was living two lives, actually. Like one on earth for real, and one just in my head. And it was a real life that I have a family and everything, and we go to school, everything is good. We come back home, there's food, we eat and go do our homework, everything like just perfect as I want, with my parents always at home, my siblings, which by the time I didn't even know where my other siblings were. One was here, the other one was there, two was there. We were all spread around. So the only way to reunite us was in my mind.
And you said your parents got divorced when you were 6. Did you understand? Did your parents sit you down and said, you know?
No. They don't do that. We don't have that aspect in Africa. They don't have that emotion aspect in Africa. You have to understand, like, I'm talking of a, like, growing up, for example, as a kid, maybe never get hugged. Even when you're home with your dad, you never get hugged with your dad. So this is the level of emotion.
The emotional attachment is not
the emotional attachment is not that. We don't take that emotional component. Like, I was, after 1 year, with my parents being divorced, I was with my aunts. And then I saw, because when they divorced, I stayed with these aunts like 2.5 years, almost 3 years, before I started to go this place 6 months, 1 year. But that was the longest that I stayed somewhere else, from maybe 6 to 15 or 16. So I was there like, was just 7 years old. And one day I asked my aunt, which is the bigger sister of my mom, I asked her, like, why my dad and my mom couldn't live like your husband and you. That wasn't a good question to ask. Because she didn't understand how a 7-year-old kid can understand something like that, can think like that. So for them, I was just a spirit living in the kid body. So they always believe, she passed away like 5 years ago, but even though she believed that I wasn't just me, like a spirit was living in me, she didn't understand that I was just missing my family so much that I was able to notice stuff like that, because all the time I'm looking at this, I'm like, where's my own parent? I'm seeing them with their kid, I'm like, where's my own parent? Why my own parent?
You wanted what they had.
I wanted what they had. So from the moment that I'm missing those stuff, I notice it.
Right. You said you worked in the sand mines for over 10 years, so until you were 22, and you saw people die in those sand mines. And you said, as you mentioned earlier, you saw someone you believed to be 55, 60 years of age, and you were just a child, and you said, I don't want that to be me. That's not going to be me. I see better. And you mentioned that you lived two lives. You had the life that you had in Cameroon, and you had the life that you had in your mind.
Yeah.
That you envisioned that there was something better for Francis Ngannou away from Cameroon?
At that moment, I wasn't thinking away of Cameroon. I was just thinking of the future. I don't know where that future would have been until really like when I started boxing at 22, I realized that even with boxing, I'm not going anywhere in Cameroon. I'm not going to do anything. Even if I'm the best, it's not going to be helpful.
So that's when so at 22 is when you first got into the combat, the boxing game.
Yeah.
And you're like, obviously you're beating up all the people in Cameroon. And he's like, okay. What was the next step? What was your thought process? Okay, I'm winning in Cameroon, but I'm never gonna be what I believe I can be just being in Cameroon.
Well, even in Cameroon, I didn't do boxing so much because after 1 year, I got sick. Hepatitis B, and it wasn't great. So, and I was boxing and was working at the same time because I was already on my own. So now I have to take care of myself, do this regime for like 6 months and stuff. So I stopped boxing, and that was the moment that another like glass of cold water was thrown on my face. Like, look at the reality. And the reality was that I ain't going anywhere with this out here. I better get out of this country and go somewhere with more opportunity.
Your story, here's where the story gets really, I mean, you had the childhood is that when you're in a third world country and you're living in you said, we're lower than working class. But here's where it gets very interesting. And people follow me with this. At 26, you left Cameroon. You go to Nigeria, Niger, Algeria, Morocco, the Sahara Desert, the Mediterranean Sea, and Spain, just to make it past France. Now, I'm not Magellan. I'm not this great, navigator or anything, but it seemed like you were just traveling in circles before you got to your ultimate destination. So Nigeria, Niger, Algeria, Morocco, Sahara Desert, Mediterranean. It took you over a year.
Yeah, it took me 14 months to get all the way to France, because all this was illegal immigration, right? A lot of people that are looking for a better opportunity, for job, for stuff like that, that lived. I mean, I left on my own, but on the way, we met. You met with people coming from different places, and by the time you get in Morocco, there is like all the nationality of Sahara, sub-Saharan African that are up there. They have different community and all with the same goal to get in Europe. I mean, watching that is scary. I'm like, okay, so all these people are looking to go. It's been like this amount every time. Where am I going exactly? You're free.
But you were undeterred because you mentioned you were on the raft sometimes, and you got turned back, and you just like, I'm not going back.
That's the journey of a lot of people out there. In fact, I was out there just for one year. I can say, yes, I was very determined. I was going again and again and again. I didn't settle because some people at some point they get tired, they get exhausted, they get burnt out, and they just go back in the city and sit and just start to find a job as a builder or help somebody like work, you know. And they are not in a good situation, so they can even afford a good job. So. Yeah, I was just doing the same. It was the same process as a lot of people. Some people had a better chance, have better chance. They would do it, make it from the first attempt. Some people the second attempt. Some people would try 2-3 times and don't make it and just give up, you know, or quit.
How many times did it take you before you became successful and got crossed over?
So in the ocean, I fell 6 times, and he was the 7th time. I went to the gate like 3 times. It didn't work. The first time I get really caught by the barbed wire.
Okay.
Really bad.
You got stuck. You got.
Yeah, I still get some deep scar on me. That reminds me. But I always like prefer water because I was more comfortable in water and stuff. But I finally succeeded the 7th time. And it was like 1 year exactly from the day that I left Cameroon. Basically like 1 year anniversary from when I left Cameroon. So I remember when we get rescued by the Red Cross in the ocean. He was around like maybe 8 to 9 a.m. in the morning on April 3rd, 2013. And
that's my daughter's birthday.
Really? 2013?
No, April 3rd.
April 3rd, yeah. And I was there, and the other people, because it was 9 of us in this raft, this little swimming pool raft. And then they were celebrating, and I was just there thinking, then just hit me. Oh, so some people was calling their family, but I've been there so long that I have nothing, even not a phone, no money, nothing. Even the reason why I was in that raft was because I have so much experience by failing that I was a captain. I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to swim.
Hold on.
But I know how to paddle.
You said you like water more so than but you can't swim.
No, I can't swim.
Hold on, you in the Mediterranean Sea and you can't swim a lick?
No.
Oh my goodness.
So you think if you can swim, you can swim from the Mediterranean?
No, but I mean
okay, so that doesn't
no,
matter.
I ain't saying swim, but you can swim. I mean, I ain't gonna go straight down like a rock. I mean, I can stay afloat for a while.
And then what would be the end of it?
You can get back to the raft. If you fall out to the raft, if you press it.
No, then I will get back.
How?
If there's a possibility to get off to the raft, we have life jacket at least.
Oh, so where'd y'all get the life jackets from?
Oh, no, the first rule is to have life jacket.
Okay.
You're going in the ocean.
Yes.
Hey, with this raft, he needs a little nail like this to blow that shit like, and it's over. Doesn't matter if you know how to swim, if you're in the middle of the ocean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So the bare minimum is a life jacket. And sometimes we don't have a life jacket. You know this thing that, I don't know how they call it, we call it in French vessie, that they put inside the tire.
Yeah, inner tube.
Huh?
Inner tube.
In the tube. Then we take it, we blow it, and then we cut the other one, we tie it, we put on our waist like this, we get it wrapped on our self like this. That one is even better than
better than life jacket.
And cheaper.
You said you didn't tell anybody that you were leaving. Why?
Because if I say I'm leaving, what would be your first question?
Where you going? Why?
Exactly. Where you going? And if I say I don't know, what would you think of me?
Well, since you don't know where you're going, well, you might as well stay here. I'm gonna try to talk you out of it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you might just think that I'm crazy.
Yeah.
Basically that since I've been having this crazy dream that nobody understands, then now I wake up someday and say, oh, I'm going. Where are you going? I don't know. Come on, man. What the hell is that, right? And also, he was so stressful. I mean, you don't know. You're walking into the unknown territory.
Yeah.
You don't know if you will ever come back or not. You don't know how it's out there. You don't know if you will make it, if you will survive. You don't know if you come back alive, or if you even your body will ever come back, or if you come back, you will come back in 5 years or in 10 years. You don't know. I mean, like, how are you going to tell that to people?
You didn't think your family would be worried that you just took off and they didn't say, like, where's Francis? Francis didn't come. Where's Francis? Francis didn't.
Yeah, but if they're worried when I'm gone, that means I'm gone already.
That's the problem.
I'm gone already. So that's another thing.
So when you get ready to, so what do you guys do for food? Okay, you're going to be in this raft and you're going to be in it for an extended period of time. How much food did you get?
No, in the raft, you don't have food. I mean, and it's not
What y'all eating?
No, it's not like you don't spend days on the raft, right? It's hours.
Couple hours?
Aye. In that situation, you can make 24 hours without eating.
You ain't get nothing. You ain't get no fruit. You ain't grab no bananas. You ain't grab nothing.
No, you don't. I mean, you're hiding from the police, and sometimes you can get stuck somewhere for 5 hours, just stay in one spot because there is a police car there, because there is a police somewhere around, or somebody that can potentially alert the police or something, and then you will just hide like that all night long. We are doing this all night long. We start our journey as soon as the night fall, and then waiting in the morning, like maybe 5 to 6, it depends. The moment that they call prayer, because there's this prayer every morning that they call, and it's a sign. We are expecting the people that are watching, overnight watching, to go pray at that moment. So it's the opportunity for us to put the raft in the water. All night long, we will be watching the wave, because your raft is this big, and then sometimes the wave is coming all the way high here, and you look at the wave. You look at your raft, you're like, there's no way. And sometimes you force to go to those waves, and then he will take you and smash you back, and you better be on somewhere that there is sand, no rock, because if you go in between of rocks to put the raft, even if you find a spot to put the raft, sometimes when a wave is very big, they will grab you and slam you on those rocks.
Right. So, what about like water? Did you take water?
No.
So basically, for 24 hours, I mean, maybe 24, maybe 48 hours?
Sometimes some people, sometimes you can have something in your pocket, you get prepared, but you're not going to carry food. If you have something like a cereal bar or a bread, is a carb, so it's burned very low. If you have it, good. But you also have to know that sometimes people go to those places without even having what to eat. They don't have nothing left, but their only drive is to get to a better life.
Right. So what was it? I mean, because not only you had to go through the forest sometimes, you had to go by land. I know you said you like water better than land. So the conditions, and you mentioned like it was so many different sub-Saharan that was making this trek. On estimate, how many people you think it were on a given time making that trek? 1,000, 10,000, 5,000, 20,000?
No, not that much, but a couple thousand.
Couple of thousand?
At least, yeah. The condition when you're trying the gate, because when you're trying the gate, you guys are gonna live in the forest,
right?
And then even like in the winter, the water condition is very bad,
right.
It's very aggressive, it's very cold. The water is not stable at all, so you can't even try.
Right.
It's like
so there's a time like, okay, we're gonna go say like the spring or the summer. The water's calmer, the water's warmer, and you have the weather's nicer. You don't want to be on the water when it's cold.
There's a moment that they call it out. Nobody is going on the water because it's too
dangerous.
Yeah, too dangerous.
So on all those voyages, so what did you do to stay in shape? Because like you're a fighter, you said you always wanted to be a fighter. That was going to be your thing. So did you, like if you were in the forest, did you do push-ups? Did you do sit-ups? I mean, what did you?
I did push-up than I can do now. Like I get to the point that I was doing like 300 push-up a day, like 5 sections of 60 push-up,
Yeah.
like normal. And
Right.
then with some abs, some stuff like that. But just because we have nothing to do. And then we get into Spain after that, afterward. They put us in jail for 2 months. Nothing, you can't do anything there. Just maybe push up, work some bench.
Right.
Whatever you can do.
So you spent 2 years in Paris? So how long were you in?
Almost 4 years in
Almost in jail?
No, 2 months.
2 months.
2 months. In Spain.
In
The
Spain.
jail was in Spain.
Then you got to Paris.
Yeah. Then I left. When they free us, we went to those association. After a couple weeks, we left. And actually, I was going to Germany. I wasn't.
Yeah, you wanted to go to Germany. Why would you want to go to Germany? What's in Germany?
There was a Klitschko brother, and the heavyweight boxing at that time was moving up there.
Okay.
In France, there wasn't really like a boxing stuff that
Right.
was driving me there, and I was chasing boxing because at first, if I would have to choose, I would have come straight to America.
Right.
There's not a path like that to come to America.
Right.
Then I want to go to the UK, but problem now, the UK is not in the Schengen zone. So even when we get there, with not, you try and get into Europe, and when they free you, you need to do another similar stuff and go north in France and try and wait for months and I don't know, maybe more to try to go to the UK. I was like, oh man, I'm tired. I'm going to Germany.
Right.
I mean, I don't speak any German, but sport doesn't need language. I will learn over time, but by the time I will be boxing.
How did you meet people? How did you make friends? Because, you said you weren't a loner by choice. Is that, when your parents separated and you had to go with this aunt and you went with this relative and so when you go to different schools, kids were a little apprehensive. So how did you meet people? How did you make friends?
Well, I wasn't going to make friends. I mean, I think I get to the point, when I was a kid, I get to the point that I understand my reality. And then I stopped trying to make friends. And I think that was even the best thing that happened to me, like I just accept my situation and just take it as it was and just be my own friend. And he worked out perfectly. I've never been dependent on anybody.
You don't have a whole lot of friends now, do you?
No, I don't. Even now, because the problem is that when I get later on in life, I get in a good position, a better situation, but I was so used to be alone. And then that's the moment that some people would think, I mean, you're a good profile to be friend. You're a cool guy now, but you're so used to be alone that that contact with people, being around all the time, you can do it. Like if I go somewhere, if I go into a party or somewhere that there's so many people, like at some point I need to step out to go somewhere that I'm alone. Otherwise, because it drains my energy.
You're an introvert.
It gets me exhausted. So I need to go out somewhere that I'm by myself, then I refuel my energy.
Right.
But if I can deal with like constant company.
You find a boxing gym. How did you know that the people there were legit? How did you know, like, okay, this is it. This is it.
I didn't know that he was legit. I just had to try, and I know that I had to start somewhere.
Right.
It wasn't about being legit. Boxing, at the end of the day, boxing gym will not make you a boxer. The only thing, you can find the best boxing gym, but you are not just a boxer and you will never become a boxer, right? It's up to you. And if you are really a boxer, maybe you start in some gym which is not that great or that doesn't have that level. Later on, you will understand and you will find yourself in a good position. So like, I get in Paris, it was June 9th. And then It was a Sunday. And the next day, it was Monday, I just started walking around and asked for a gym until I found this gym. And it was around 4 p.m. And they were training and I asked to see the coach. The coach wasn't there. There was a guy that was giving a class that day named DJ Cameroon. So I asked if I can meet him. They say yes, wait until the end of the class. So after the end of the class, I met him and I explained the situation. I said, I just came from Africa, I'm asleep. I don't even have where to sleep, but it's okay. I'm not asking for, I just want a place to train because I'm gonna be a world champion. You know, it's a little cocky when you meet people at the gym and none of them is even like French champion and you just throw it at their face like you're gonna be a world champion.
Right.
You know, like you think we are hanging out here just for fun. But that's how he came out. But he was a really good guy and then he helped me a lot.
How long did you stay in Germany?
I didn't go to Germany. That was in France.
France.
Yeah.
You didn't go to Germany.
So I just stopped in France. With because I met with group of people there that were all going to France. So I'm like, okay, let's stop in France and see.
Right.
Then I stopped in France, but next day I was just going. I didn't just stop to like, okay, let's enjoy France.
Right.
I was just going.
Right.
Then I find something, then I keep.
And you kept finding something else.
Yeah, keep digging.
So basically you left France and came to the US.
Yeah.
What was it like getting on that plane coming to the US?
Oh, because getting in France, yes, it was good. It was another, but that was just the beginning of another chapter. Then you have to figure out your way in France. You are in France, you have no situation, no regulation situation in France. Big black guy with your African accent. Good luck with that.
But the women probably liked you. Big black guy in France with an accent. See, now you had.
So this is the thing. They usually, I mean, when they know you're in that situation, everybody know that you need one thing, paper. How to get your situation regulated. And marriage is one of those situations. So a lot of women
they would try to marry you. They try to marry you.
They don't want none of that.
Oh,
because for them, they just see it's like a rich
they
man.
think you're gonna use
like
them.
a rich man thinking a woman is just coming after their money.
Okay, I see.
So for them, you are just coming after that. So they don't even want to think about it. It's not even thinkable. Right? Obviously, there are some few exception, but overall, it's not even thinkable. Because even when you talk to a man, and that man understand that you don't have a paper, bro, he treats you like you are a inferior creature, like you're below him just because of the paper. And I kind of like, man, it's not like something that you earn. You didn't do anything to deserve that. You know, I mean. Yes, maybe you get some job, you work hard, you build a house, and somebody doesn't have a house.
You just happen to be born in France.
You just have to be born in France, and that's all. You didn't do anything. So don't look at. But it's the most people who act like this. So you walk around and trying to sneak, and you don't even tell people. Right. But you have this battle because without it, you're not in any system.
So when you came to the U.S., where did you go to? When you came to the U.S., where did you go first?
Orlando. I was going to Orlando. It was my first UFC fight.
Okay.
So that's when I was coming into U.S. And then as my dream was always to come to the U.S., I remember I landed and then there was this guy at the baggage claim with the tablet with my name on it, UFC on top, like Francis Ngannou. And then I saw my name, we walked through him, take my bag, and then go to the car, drive. And at that moment, I'm just thinking of that, my first time in the US. And I'm comparing it in my first time in France. I'm like, this is so different. I'm looking like, okay, And he was what? Not even 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. 4 years ago. Huh? No, two years, couple months.
Yeah.
Because this was December 2015.
Right.
I get in friend in June 2013.
Right.
So this was 2 years and maybe 5 months. Yeah, 2 years and a half.
Right.
After. Then I'm looking at me getting in France in the subway that I jumped. I didn't even pay a ticket.
Right.
I jumped on the subway and sneaked and was watching police. That's how I'm getting in France.
Right.
And then ended up in the parking lot that I found the boxes and put on the floor, sleep on it, like, and then I'm here, landing in the US, and there's somebody out there. I mean, that I'm coming from a plane, right? And somebody is waiting for me. I walk there and then get in the car, drove me into the hotel, and I'm just laying back and watching for everything. Like, okay, it's just going to my mind. I'm just processing stuff, right? And then we get to this hotel, Hyatt Residency, massive hotel. I never saw a hotel like that. And I just lay back, they go there, check in, and brought my key, gave me my key, room number. We went up, put my key, get in my room. I lock the door and make sure the door is very locked. I look my phone, I call in Cameroon, and I say, hey, I have made it. I have made it. Because my whole dream was to be in America.
Right.
That was like my biggest dream since I was a kid. Like,
Right.
I remember, like, even since I was 8 or 7, I've been having nickname, calling myself American boy and all this stuff. Like, and they would call me like San Francisco, and I would force people to tell people like my name is San Francisco. Like, to this day, my signature is SF. And sometimes people is like, there's no S on your name. I'm like, it's my signature. You don't know my name. So I'm in the US, and I get in the US in the best way, no as I get in Europe. So, like, I made it, right?
Right.
I'm here. And I remember also 2008, we were in Cameroon when Obama won the election. And then the result came out like it was maybe 5 a.m. in Cameroon. Nobody didn't sleep, we were waiting. The first black, it was something very important, the first black president. Everybody feel related into that, like, and then he won. And then I was there, we were celebrating, but in my mind, something was racing. Something else was racing. And I tell my uncle, I'm like, okay, a presidency mandate is like 4 years in the US, and renew one time, so 8 years. At the end of this, I'm gonna be in the US. I'm gonna be. And so I made it in 2015, and he was still president. I made it. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You made it. So you made it. Hey,
I made it.
So let me ask you a question. So when you got to the U.S., you have the fight in Orlando, you get a check. What'd you do with the money? You go buy anything special?
No. My dream is so big that obviously it's the money that I never had. But I'm looking for something else. I'm dreaming big. I don't have time for that. Okay, that's cool. Then what next?
Right.
What am I having? Right?
Right.
It was all about like how the process. Yeah. I didn't buy anything. I wanted to go in Cameroon for vacation, and that would have been my first time since I left. Then, but at the same time, I want to fight right back, and then they gave me a fight. No, I wanted to go, but I was sitting there hoping to fight maybe in February, so I didn't go to Cameroon. I'm like, let's wait. Then they gave me after maybe I think it was January or early. Yeah, sometime in January or early February, they gave me this fight, my second fight. I was going to fight Curtis Blade in Zagreb, Croatia. So after that, I went back in Cameroon, and it was 4 years since I left.
Wow. Listening at you, you always, even the situation with the UFC, you thought about other fighters. PL League, you think about other fighters. You go back home and it's thinking about your family, your community. How do I put them in a better situation? Where did you develop that from?
We grew up in a very tough situation. My family and I, our life get us very close. We are very bound, like very, very close. Like, you know, I used to get sick in a way that I couldn't like go to the bathroom, go out there pee on my own. I need support, you know, and even like when we're working in the sun mine, like when I'm sick, they'll use our money, even my brother money, to take me to the hospital. So he wasn't like my money, your money, he was ours, you know, stuff like that. And then when you get to the point that you understand that you need this, you need them, and they are, for some reason, they are always there, then you lay there and then you feel powerless, and then it's hard, but you see them around, you know, gather to like do everything to support, to help you in that position that you're the most vulnerable. Those help, like relationship. I think that's like one of the second thing that I feel maybe the first thing that I feel very grateful about, because regardless, I saw a lot of family around that they were actually doing good, that growing up, maybe we would expect them to give them their clothes that they don't wear anymore or the shoes that they don't want anymore. But I saw how it ended, how their family ended up. Like, in fact, I think our family was by far the best, right? Because we get into the position that we just stick to each other. I mean, like, it's comforting to think that if your brother make it, he's gonna think about you. Right. And then you're counting on him. You're counting on each other. So the day that you make it, you also have this in you. And we were so family focused, you know, like, and I always miss my family reunion, that my first goal was to make this happen, you know, until like I started to make those family reunion. Our dad wasn't at the table, but I was able to gather everyone and put in one table, maybe for Christmas, for something, or maybe just for the party that I came back home and decided that we're gonna throw this party. And the good thing about it is like when you feel like you have that power. Right. Okay, somebody is not missing because he's out there working. How much you making it work? I get you, bro. Come. When I say come, everybody come. Right.
You open the gym and how difficult was it? Is it difficult for you to say no? Because you strike me as a very generous person.
No, especially I say no a lot. In fact, listen, you have to understand, I'm coming from a country that a lot of people are in the very
bad condition.
Mm-hmm. If you take their problem, it's gonna drown you. You can handle. So
you can't save everyone.
You can't save. You have to save yourself first, and to get out of the water before trying to take somebody out of the water. Otherwise, both of you will drown. So even when I want to help somebody, sometime he will come and explain his problem. I'm like, bro, figure it out. That's your shit. I will go think of a problem, think of like what could be the solution. But I don't want a grown man to just sit out there, lay back and wait on me.
And wait for you to
Because I'm out here working my ass off too. I'm not out here sitting and things are just coming to me. So I'll let you know you count on yourself. Because when you count on yourself, you never get disappointed.
Right.
If somebody helps you, that will be a great surprise. But when you count on people, you always have a bad surprise.
Right.
You rather
have a chance for disappointment.
A great surprise than a bad surprise.
How is it going back home now?
Both.
It's good and bad. You probably have to have a police escort when you go back.
Oh no, just go out, just stay home like a prisoner, like you.
Really?
Like you're running away from somebody, knowing that you owe nobody nothing, or you're not running away from anything, but you still have to stay home because that's the easiest way.
Wow.
You want to go place, you just think about like, oh, people are there, people are gonna meet me, gonna see me, and I'm like, I'd rather just stay here, man. Leave me alone. But it's great overall. That's mean you're doing good.
At what age did you learn English?
When I started to come in the US.
So prior to coming to the US, you didn't speak English?
No, even in Cameroon, we were speaking a little bit of the pidgin, but not too much. I wasn't even speaking too much, but I always loved English. And I understand that at that time, I understood that I needed English. For me, learning English was an investment that I was going to make.
Right.
And that was like one of the biggest decisions when I moved in the US, because when I moved in the US, this was early 2017. Bro, it was so hard. Like, even the word that I know, maybe because I learned at school, like water, people will say water. But we say water, or something like that. And when I say water, nobody understands anything. And when they say water, I'm like, what the hell is talking about? And the accent and the speed that they are talking, sometimes people are talking, I think like, this guy is singing or he's talking. Like, what's the difference? I had to figure it out. So the easiest thing was just to go back, maybe in France or somewhere. But I'm like, remember why I came here. I need this English. I need this English for the future.
Right.
This is a good asset.
You speak French?
Yeah.
Spanish?
No.
No Spanish?
No.
Even
I was in Spanish for like, what, 2 months and a half?
Yeah.
And in 2 months, I was just in jail between us. So we were all speaking French. So we wasn't in Spain.
Right.
The only thing that we know in Spanish was patio, time to go out.
Right.
La lucha.
Right.
When they are turning the light on, off, at night for us to go to sleep, stuff like that.
What was the hardest language for you to learn?
Well, I don't know. I mean, French is not something, I don't know when I learned French. You know, I just grew up like into it and my dialect, but yeah, I just grew up into it. So I didn't actually really learn. You know, even though I wasn't speaking too much early in my life, I was speaking the dialect. But the language that I really like, okay, I'm learning the language was English.
Yeah. But I'm looking at you and I mean, big old 6'5" brother with accent, speaking French, speaking English. The women, they coming.
Well, how many women can you have?
I don't know, in Africa, I guess you can have as many as you can afford.
Yeah, but still, you have to commit into that. That's another energy to give somewhere else.
So, as we were talking earlier, dating, marriage, what you want to accomplish, what you're trying to accomplish, is that in the future?
I don't know. Right now, I don't think about it. Like, I remember when I left Cameroon, I wanted maybe to get married. I don't know. But what I wanted the most was to have kids because I wasn't knowing where I was going. So I wanted to leave a legacy behind me. Somebody that will remember me through, like, oh, at least once there was a Francis or something, right?
Right.
So that's something that I really want so hard. And I think that's the only moment that I was thinking about marriage. It was just to have a baby, right? Then after that, I get into this life that my condition is very bad. So you don't think about women. You think about how to
get out of the situation.
Get out of this situation and get better. And then this thing just keep rolling. And even when it's changing and getting better, you're in the same pool, rolling in the same way.
Right.
And until you wake up someday, I'm like, it's been 10 years, it's been 8 years, damn. But you don't feel a need, it's something that you want. So, I don't know.
Give me
even though, in Africa, they've been pushing me even before I left Cameroon to get married.
Yeah, you be a king.
Yeah. No, I say even before I left.
Right, to get married. Now.
Yeah, even before I left Cameroon for the first time.
Yeah.
My grandpa wanted me to get married. I was 20 years old. They wanted us to get married. And then, not to get only married for one girl, multiple.
Grandpa, I like Grandpa. I made it meet Grandpa.
No, out there is normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, for some reason, at this age, people don't even want to get married.
Right.
Before, it was kind of like a culture. People have to marry.
So marriage is not as big now in Cameroon as it was when you were a kid.
Because people now is so more into this Western style, oh yes, and this, and women started think differently. Even men, they don't want this responsibility, because before, polygamy in Africa, at first, most marriage in Africa for men was a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't to have fun, even to get married, even to have multiple wives. Most of the time, in the many situations, it wasn't like, oh, I like those women so much.
Right.
It was a situation that you have to first, for example, when a guy in a community was successful, he needs to get married from wife in a different neighborhood around the community, so to give people many chances. Because if you get married here, other community will be like, oh, he doesn't care about us. He should have married the kids of us. Right. And they will want you to marry the girl from that community.
Wow.
So then you find out people that are getting married just for opportunity, to give opportunity for community. Why? Because unlike here, when you have a daughter there, all your life is a worry. You don't know how she's gonna end up. You don't know. You're worried if ever she's gonna have a roof, or to have somebody to take care. And then there's this guy that's gonna take care of her. You don't care if she's the 5th or the 10th wife.
Wow.
Take it, bro. And that's how some people were getting a lot of wives, just to give chance to community. And also, one thing that was very important, if your brother or your family member passed away and left a wife with children,
you had to take.
One of you guys have to take that wife. Whether you like it or not, somebody have to take it.
But you're not gonna sleep with the wife, though.
No,
right?
you'll sleep with.
No,
you will take the wife.
Yeah, I'm just take it and say, yeah, okay, I'm gonna take care of you and make sure.
Yeah, but you can take a wife and just not sleep with.
Yeah, you can. You can kill both.
You're gonna take. Why? Because, and the reason why they were doing that, the family was doing that, because they didn't want a wife to live with their kids and get out there, get married with somebody that will mistreat those kids.
Right.
Because with the situation being very complicated, I mean, this guy is going to work hard and then maybe get home, barely have food for 2-3 people. And then if he has a kid, it's for the 3. The other guy, kid, it's not my kids, right? So the family didn't want that to happen. So they wanted to keep the wife and the kids into the family. So somebody have to step up and take that as a responsibility.
Wow. I'm glad that in Western. I'm glad that in Western. I'm glad that in America.
Yeah. So polygamy most of the time wasn't by choice.
Right.
Yeah, it was by responsibility.
Give me your 4 Mount Rushmore MMA fighters. You know what Mount Rushmore is, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Jon Jones.
Okay.
I will put Kamaru Usman.
Okay.
And Adesanya.
Okay.
Definitely. Let's pick one person that I'm gonna put. I should have. Maybe Cain Velasquez.
Okay. I kind of thought you might go Anderson Silva. Maybe Horace Gracie.
Yeah, I mean, I would. Yeah, no, Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre.
Yeah, I was gonna say St. Pierre.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, George St. Pierre. I mean, George St. Pierre didn't come to my mind, but I'll put him first. Yeah.
What about boxer? Who are your Mount Rushmore boxers?
Mike Tyson.
Mike.
Mike Tyson, for sure.
Did you always like boxing?
Yeah, growing up. I mean, I couldn't watch boxing, but we never had TV.
Right.
But yeah, I always liked boxing.
How did you know? How did you learn about American fighters or fighters when you didn't have?
I didn't know much about American fighters. I know more about actors than I know about fighters.
Oh,
But Mike Tyson was the one that was going, you know, like he was globally famous, so everybody everywhere know Mike Tyson. Basically, after their fight, after his fight against Holyfield, that was like the most famous fight.
Was your journey and everything that you had to endure from the time you were a child and going from Nigeria to Niger to Algeria to Morocco to the Mediterranean to Sub-Sahara, was that the main reason that you're unafraid to take on any challenge? You didn't fight professional box, and now you say, you know what, I think I can beat Tyson Fury. You know what, I was the king in the UFC. I was the baddest man on the planet. I'm the heavyweight champion of UFC. You know what, I'm gonna go conquer another sport. Was that upbringing is what gave you the confidence?
Definitely, but I think it's also a mindset that without our upbringing we should have. In my case, I need to go there to have that. I need to have that upbringing, to have that mindset. But at the end of the day, it's something that some people have, which is the right way. I mean, we are all competitive. You know, we are all here. Everybody here want to accomplish something. The guy behind the camera want to make the best piece of content. The guy behind the sound engineer want to make the best sound. You know, like everybody want to do something. So you do your best. You do whatever it takes. And for us, almost every time you have to try multiple times to make it. You're gonna fail, you're gonna try and get wrong and go back, figure it out again, try again. It's just the same concept for everyone. You know, nobody just wake up and make it like this. Usually, like when you see people that things has been very easy for them, it's cool, but when those people fall, they never, most of the time, they never come back because they don't know this hardship. They wasn't like trained, prepared for the reality.
Do you feel you can accomplish anything?
Everything that I want, yes, I believe that. I might not, but I do believe that, because otherwise I will not go. If I believe in something, I'm going to make it. I'm not just going to like, okay, let's just go. You know, I'm going to give my all. And at the end of the day, the most important thing for me is not to conquer stuff, is not to succeed, is to give my all, whatever I can possibly do. You know, if the result is not what I wanted, but I will check with myself. I'm like, did you give your all? Do you do everything that you should have done? And if the answer is yes, well, it happens. It's just life. I move on. Wow. You know, it's an experience.
As I'm looking at you, you don't have weight room muscles. You have labor muscles. You developed this body from a child in the sand mines, walking, doing other things. Is that where you feel your power comes from?
No, it's genuine. In my family, it's...
Oh, your family built like this, huh?
No, they are not all built like that. I mean, like, I think I'm just built, I'm just a little different physically, because even my brother, even people from my community, I mean, they are strong people, but they are not as big as me. Yeah. I'm the biggest in my family. I'm the potentially stronger, but my family is still strong.
Right.
They are still very strong, and this reputation of, we have a reputation of a strong family.
Right.
Even before I was born, my dad, my uncles, they were all.
But they all worked in the sand mine, right?
No.
They didn't?
No, my dad was a carpenter.
It was a what?
Carpenter.
Carpenter, okay.
Carpenter. So he make roof the house. So that was his upbringing. A lot of them work. Everybody will basically work in the farm. But again, even amongst all those people, my family was known for like being very strong. Even my grandpa. I mean, I know him. I was born. He was already old, but he's been known as like one of the guys.
Right. Would you want your story turned into a movie?
Absolutely, that would be a movie. But I just think it's not the moment yet. It's not the moment.
Because you feel you have other things to accomplish?
There's still a lot of things that is coming. There's still a lot of chapter that is missing. I'm missing.
You said you knew more American actors than boxers. So if someone were to portray you in your life story, who would you like for it to be?
I've been asked that question before, and so far I think the best profile that I would think of would be somebody like Idris Elba.
You're going to put him on stilts.
What do you mean?
You so tall.
He's tall too.
Yeah, I can see that. He can definitely. He might be the only one that could play you.
Yeah.
He might be the only one that could play you.
Yeah. Idris Elba.
I think you went for the guy with the accent. Everybody, you went for the handsome guy.
Like who?
No, that's who you went for, Idris Elba. But honestly,
the guy with the accent. Who are you thinking of?
I don't think. The only guy, and he's deceased, but he's not big enough, would be Chadwick Boseman, because that Black Panther accent.
Yeah.
He had. I mean, he could.
He's an acting accent.
Yeah, but I'm saying. Yeah. It's not like, I mean, he's gonna have to act. He's gonna have to do that accent. He's gonna have to hang around you and pick up your dialect. That's what they do when they take on the role. I mean, I gotta be around you and pick up your mannerisms and pick up your the way you talk, how you would say it, or it's not gonna be authentic.
Yeah.
It's kind of like when you boxing, you had to be around a boxer. You had to get somebody to actually know the combinations, the shots, and you know how you cut the ring off and how you retreat and make sure you don't go straight back and you move to the side.
I think acting is a little different, but
you think it's you want to do it? You want to try acting?
Maybe. I think when I'm retired, it takes a lot of time though.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Everything takes a lot of time.
Takes a lot of time. I've seen people like they go for a movie for like 4 months, and at this point of time,
you don't have that kind of time.
I don't have that kind of.
Well, the 4 months is you getting ready to begin.
This is my main job.
Yeah,
this is my main job for now.
Millions of people are going to watch this. What was something you would like the kids that watch this to take from your story?
I don't know.
Dream,
sometimes
hope,
I think,
never give up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, those general speech of motivation, like determination, self-believing, right? But sometimes I think about like my kids, like, okay, I'll have kids that will grow up, and then I just think of their life, how they will grow up, and I just find out that it's sad. I mean, I did all this for like give my family a better situation, right? But I still think that it's gonna be sad that my kid will never understand my story,
right.
You know, because they will just be in a situation that their problem would be none of like what
you had to go through.
What we had to go through, like, okay, what should we eat today? Like stuff like that. Like, could we have soap, or could I have pen to go to school on Monday? Stuff like that. They will never understand. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Some people still do it very good. But yeah, I think like I think self-believing is like the key you know, we would talk about like faith, hope, and everything. But a man that believes in him, I think, is a man that is half succeed.
I wanted to ask you this, and I forgot to. Your favorite food as a child growing up, and do you still eat that food now?
Growing up, I think every food was my favorite because we didn't have. I don't recall a day that I see a food and I don't like this. Every meal was the favorite one. So.
Is there a place in Vegas that you can go get some of your Cameroonian dishes?
No,
or do
no,
you have to wait till you get back home?
No, really. Mostly in the East Coast.
Okay, yeah, like New York and
Washington,
Yeah.
Baltimore. There's a lot of African community.
So
I
what's
think even in Texas, you will find those.
What's a typical Cameroon dish?
Oh, there is a lot, man. You will find, like, there is this, the very famous one is ndole. We call it ndole. I know you're gonna ask what is that.
Yeah, I want to know it.
Okay, it's kind of like a leaf, kind of like a spinach, with a ground peanut. You know, then put all the spice in it. Hard
What
to
a meat?
explain. Huh?
Ain't no meat in it?
They put meat in it.
What kind of meat?
You can put whatever you want.
I mean, so in Cameroon, what did you get? Like goat, chicken? I mean, what did you put it?
Everything. We get. I mean, usually they don't put chicken in dole. They will put more like beef. Smoked fish.
Okay.
I mean, not smoked, dry fish.
Dry fish.
And then even like a dry. We have this little shrimp that are so little and they are dry. It's very favorite.
So if next time I come across a Cameroon,
and our best breakfast is beignet haricot.
What's that?
It's like peanut. It's like donut. It's like donut. Our version of donut with beans, fried beans, and with pap. I know you don't know.
I bet the dole, I might be willing to try the other dish, but
yeah,
they got to have some good.
Now that you're asking me about like food,
Yeah.
my favorite Cameroonian food, what is American food? Because I walk around, I will see Chinese restaurant.
Well, that's kind of not like
Japanese
America.
restaurant. I will see Indian restaurant, Mexican.
We more like
what is American? I never see American restaurant.
Barbecue. It all depends.
Barbecue is not a food.
No. Like ribs, chicken. Now, if you down south,
you said ribs. Ribs is not a food. Rib is not a dish.
Oh, you talking about a dish? Okay, where are you? Are you in the South? If you're in the South, we got dishes. We have like mac and cheese, or
mac and cheese is not a dish.
It is a dish, Francis. What you think it is?
I don't know, bro.
What you talking about a dish? It's a dish. Yes, it is a dish.
Chicken and waffle.
Okay.
Pancakes.
You don't got Americanized. You don't got Americanized now. You talking about chicken and waffles. You talking about going to like Roscoe's or Gladys Knight or somebody. No, but those are dishes. I mean, like, so when you say like dole, that's a staple of like Cameroon. Cause I had Kamara on, and he was saying like fafala, and he was like,
yeah.
He was like he was explaining to him. I had Michael Blackson on. He was trying to like fufu.
Yeah.
Y'all eat fufu?
We have fufu. Ours is a little different.
Okay.
So like, if you go in Africa, every country has like its own special.
Yeah, okay.
That
they put their own spin on it. Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Like when you say dollar, everybody knows that it is Cameroon.
Okay.
It's like saying sushi, and they will attach sushi to Japan.
Right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So when can we expect to see Francis Ngannou back in the ring, the square or the octagon?
Definitely next year. When exactly next year? Potentially, not sure. Potentially March or April, and certainly October.
Okay. Francis Ngannou.
Thank you.
All my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life. Look, all my life, been grinding all my life. Sacrifice, hustle paid the price. Want a slice, got to roll the dice, that's why. All my life, I've been grinding all my life.